You guys all know more about UFC than me. Who was the guy, this little fighter, who in the last week Dana White got mad at because the fighter was like brought his TI-83 to a boss museum and was asking questions. Like who's that guy? The little guy?
Bryce.
It sounds like Bryce Mitchell.
Bryce Mitchell.
You don't know what Bryce Mitchell did, Woody? Oh,
I know he's
beautiful.
pro Hitler.
I didn't know that. I didn't know about this.
So here's the thing.
This guy's got a lot of questions.
I think Bryce.
And the museum didn't have answers. What the fuck?
I don't think he actually brought a calculator to the museum. That's just a very funny way to frame it.
I thought you were being serious. I'm like, I missed the fuck out of that.
No, I saw a clip of Dana White being like, "Yeah, we're not liking this from Bryce Mitchell."
Dana was like, "That is the stupidest." And no, he said Bryce Mitchell is a fucking moron. He is the stupidest fucking person I've ever met in my entire life. Let me tell you a story. He took a power drill, drilled it into his testicle. And what did he do? He reversed it to pull it back out. This guy is a moron. And they're like, apparently it was the first episode of his podcast. Oh, really? Great start. Great fucking start. Let me tell you this. Hitler, no, if you heard of this guy, bad character. Scumbag, this Hitler. Real rascal. I don't
what does Bryce have to say?
Bryce, all right, so on episode 1 of Bryce's podcast, which is him and his boy, who are both right-wing Christian guys, nothing wrong with that, but they're sitting in like a barn with a bunch of tools around and shit, and lighting, and then a couple mics between them. It's professionally done, episode 1. And he basically, he's always been flat earth, and like talking about like Elon Musk is trying to control people with brain implants. He's been very conspiratorial, very like goofball. This guy's a moron, and he's a UFC fighter. I'm sure that's the basis of all this. But he said he's like, I think Hitler, the Hitler I read about, not the one that's taught to me in the American educational system. The Hitler I read about, cool guy. All right, we go fishing. I go fishing with Hitler and we get along. All right. That's the kind of man. He seemed like a good man he loved his country. And you know what he was doing? He had them greedy Jews over there, and he's taxing everybody, out charging interest, and he's trying to get them out of his country. And they talk about him burning books. You know what kind of books he's burning? Did you? Do you? Queer books. That's right. They's queering up the kids too. You know where the first tranny surgery ever happened? And his partner's like, pale. Like a ghost.
Dude,
he's white as a sheep because
like,
his partner was not prepared for this rant. No, where was the first tranny surgery, bro?
Leaning into the mic.
In Germany.
I also don't like usury.
He's burning the queer books. And he's
that's so funny. His partner.
I hear what you're saying, Kyle. I'm thinking cool guy of the week so far. We'll see if
dude, there's an hour of that.
Yeah.
There's an hour of that.
How about this?
Oh my God.
Prove him wrong.
You
show me a picture of the globe. That's so funny to be his co-host and to be thinking like, I bet I can still return these Shure SM7Bs and get the funding on our studio back, because I thought we were going to be talking about reverse chokeholds, and he's like episode 1 lost Hitler. Hey guys, Bryce here. I know you wanted to hear me talk about my techniques in fighting, but we're not going to talk about that at all. Not even tangentially.
I hope he gets into sexuality in episode 2. I need to hear Bryce Mitchell's thoughts on, I don't know, transgenders.
I'm just imagining walking into or watching the video of, when Red Bull dropped that guy from orbit, just watching that and seeing the curvature of the earth and going, fucking hell, Red Bull's in on it.
Yeah. Like, and they're like,
yeah, they have a different version. Like our TikTok is cats and hotties and who knows what, and their TikTok is more educational and what they're shaping their society to be.
It's a psyop to make us gay and retarded, and we nosedived into it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Bryce, hang on. Are the Chinese queering us? Are the Chinese queering us up?
I resent that, Brandon. I'm not gay.
No, that's another big part of TikTok that I bet Bryce likes is a little calculator stuff. That's what he's all about, and I'm pretty sure that's all over the place on TikTok.
He doesn't
right?
seem very intellectual to me. He seems like a guy who definitely can't do basic math. He really does seem like an actual moron, like a really slow-witted person.
Most of these
and
fighters
the concussions can't help.
Dim.
A lot of
not
Bryce
true.
falls into that category of really dumb person that has no idea he's dumb. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. I've known guys like from my off-roading friends who didn't pretend to be geniuses, right? They could work a torque wrench. That's as far as it went. They knew what the score was. Bryce, on the other hand, thinks that he's outsmarted everybody.
I've seen video and I've seen pictures of it, and it's right after the U.S. had liberated concentration camps, and the Jewish guys are beating the shit out of the guards while the American GIs smoke cigarettes. They're just like whooping the shit out of this guy. One of them old timey 1940s beatings, where they take the time about it. Maybe I'll hit you 3 times and then Larry, come over here. You hit him twice. They really
guess what?
march him down the street, whooping him.
Bryce Mitchell would want to know how they even had the energy to attack those guards.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when you're in a calorie deficit, you can't whoop a Nazi prison guard like that. I say that wasn't no concentration camp. They was concentrating all right on queering the kids. That's what it was. That's what it was. Ovens. It was little. It was. What are they called? What do the girls have? Those
little easy bake
ovens. Yeah,
easy
bake. I'm gonna make a gay joke about that, but I lost it. But no, Bryce Mitchell genuinely might have brain damage, so I kind of feel bad about.
Dude, are you serious?
Pretty close.
Dude, half of these people have brain damage. Like
they talk really fast, and he's got a southern accent just like this, and he literally lives in a trailer on a farm somewhere, and also fights in the UFC. What is nothing wrong with that? Until you start talking about Hitler being a nice guy.
But once he starts talking, like he's like set out, like his life path has him as a NASCAR commentator.
Really? It's good to have goals, so I like that. Yeah.
I've seen Bryce Mitchell do a seminar on how to fight. He was good. Like he might speak quickly and make no sense when it's about the flat earth or something or Hitler or whatever. But when he talks about like his strategies for when to take the back versus when to stay on top, or how to sink in the rear naked choke, what his little special flavor of the guillotine is or whatever, I'm listening because this guy has details and important information and he gets it right. And he just beat Cron Gracie. Like I think he picked him up and slammed him on his head. Cron Gracie's one of the best grapplers to have ever walked this planet. And Bryce Mitchell picked him up and slammed him on the head until he went unconscious. And
really?
Like, dude, yeah, he's a little washed, Cron Gracie. He's not 25 anymore. But nonetheless, Bryce Mitchell is a very good fighter who belongs in the UFC. He's 2-2, so he's not standing out in a really big way. But his fighting is no joke. The joke is his thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon. Like that guy's core competency is fighting. I bet he could talk about that at length all day, which is undoubtedly what his poor podcast host thought they would be doing that day. He's like, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you. Hey, I thought we were going to lead off here, and we're going to talk about your personal goats, Bryce, your personal goats in the sport." A lot of people say John Jones. A lot of people say GSP, and he's like, "Listen, the Jews are
they're controlling."
Media, and I'm not so sure about these numbers. And he's like, and what about a rear naked choke? And he's like, yeah, I can tell you one thing, that wasn't happening in Auschwitz.
One of the first celebrities of all time to lose money by starting a podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think so. I don't know. Mel Gibson gained 5,000 Twitter followers that first day. I'm sure he kept growing. He's a lot of people are into that kind of thing. There's another short of him. He's crazy about everything. Like he's into all sorts of kooky, nutty stuff, and he's got an opinion about everything. So people are definitely going to watch.
Is his name Thug Nasty? Is that his?
If it is, that's new to me.
That's what his Thug Nasty is. Wait, is it?
Thug Nasty MMA is his Twitter handle.
Oh,
it says 17-2 UFC featherweight. But a lot of these fighters, they include pre-UFC fights in their little standings or their records.
I'm sorry, I thought I knew better.
That's I
got mixed up with Rose Namajunas.
Here he is rapping.
Dude, I can tell Bryce Mitchell is great at fighting by how girthy those ears are. Look
at his rap video here.
Ears. You've already showed me one horrid rap video.
No, this is different.
He just, dude, the evidence pro and con, like for and against him having brain damage, is strong in both directions. Right. Like I couldn't do that, but he can. He's clearly thinking pretty sharp.
Yeah. He's clearly astute enough to do that.
Yeah,
but on the earth, I gotta say, I disagree with you.